It's time for Where's the Love segment. This is when we have a licensed therapist come in and answer your questions about dating and relationships. Dr. Misty Smith, a licensed therapist here in town, joins us this morning to answer your questions. All right, and we take these questions, by the way, via social media, so always check out our Facebook page and you can submit your questions and we will let you remain anonymous. Okay, our first question is from Jane. She says, I have a boyfriend of about a year. He tells little fibs, just little lies, to avoid upsetting me. Like, for instance, he lies about quitting smoking. Apparently, he said he was quitting smoking and was caught smoking. So he doesn't always share what much that happens in his life, good or bad. She's got to drag communication out of him. She's yet to meet any of his family in the year they've been dating. So aside from that, says he's great with my 4-year-old daughter, and we do have some fun together. So how do I get him to open up, or should I give up?
Well, Mike, I think one of the first things that you mentioned that's really important is that she has a 4-year-old daughter. Does she want to be with someone who is lying about anything? And quitting smoking to me doesn't really seem like just such a little lie. That's health effective, it affects your household, it affects your finances. So I think that's not really as little as she makes it out to be. And when you marry someone, you kind of agree to marry their family, and she hasn't met his family for a year. What does that say about his family? That would be a huge red flag for me. So I think she needs to look at, does she want someone who lies about anything? Does she want someone who doesn't want her meeting her family? And you can find a lot of people who will love your 4-year-old and enjoy spending time with you.
But it sounds like he's not ready for a relationship, a complete relationship, does it?
No, no, definitely not.
All right, our second question is from John. It says, he says, it seems like our relationship has become stale, or maybe it just seems that way. But once it does get that way, how do I get out of this, quote, place?
Okay, I think that everyone needs to remember that when you're in a relationship, it's like a shiny new penny. You get it and it's all shiny and pretty, and then it doesn't stay that way. So realistic expectations, it's not always going to be exciting. It's not always going to be that shiny new thing you got, 6 months, a year, 10 years ago. So someone needs to make the effort to put that jolt back in that relationship. What did you enjoy doing when you first got together? What made it so exciting? And maybe plan that. Surprise the female or the male in the relationship and say, we're going on a trip, or we're going to those ball games we enjoyed, and give it that little electricity it needs.
And maybe do something out of your comfort zone, so to speak, something that the other person would like to do, right?
Yes, absolutely. Well, lots of people do that when they're dating, and then when they get into the relationship, 3 months, 6 months, a year, then all of a sudden, because they didn't like that stuff in the beginning anyway, they no longer are willing to do that.
And then she finds out what he's really like. Okay. Our third question, final question of the morning. I've been estranged from my mother for years over what I consider now to be trivial issues. What steps or advice can you give me on repairing this relationship and stopping this estrangement?
Okay. When there's an estrangement and time goes by, there are a lot of hurt feelings, and it takes time to repair hurt feelings. Someone has to be the bigger person, regardless of fault. If you are feeling internally that this is something that you want to repair, then whether it's their fault, your fault, everybody's fault, you need to make that first step. Write a letter, ask to go for coffee, make that apology that needs to be made and started somewhere, and baby steps.
Okay.
Hurt feelings require time.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Misty Smith, licensed therapist. We appreciate it so much. You need thunder back in your relationships. We're going to bring you Thunder on the Mountain.